Okay, welcome to the 7 p.m. broadcast. I'm not going to start my lesson until we get a few people in the chat. I did get quite a few emails today, and there's some things I'd like to address and straighten out and give you my opinion. Now, before I give you my opinion, my opinion is not really word, it's how I feel. Hey, Jim, can you hear me? Thank you for the email. SP, how you doing? I've been working all afternoon on the workbook number 2, which will be available soon. And we have SP, myself, and James here, and there should be one more person who should get into the chat and say hello. So I don't really want to start the lesson. I want to address a few things. Ed, how are you, sir? Good for you. Okay, anyway, you know, I got an email today. First of all, I'd like to make a few statements. You know, you have somebody, you have a son or a daughter who's 13, 14, who wants to learn how to play the drums. And you're an accountant, a painter, a carpenter, a cashier at the ShopRite or local grocery store. So you say, well, all right, I want to give my kid the world, and I'm going to find a drum teacher. So what do? The first thing you do is go to a mom and pop store, music store. They have a teacher, and you sign them up. Now the kids have so much passion to learn this. They want to play. Now you have to understand who you're dealing with here. A local music store, 95% of the time, teachers who teach in a music store, it's just a part-time job for them. They may be a carpenter during the day, they go home, take a shower, and do 2 or 3 nights of teaching. They're only supplementing their income. They're not very much into drumming. So they're going to teach your child what they've learned, okay, from their teacher, who is perhaps in the same situation. And there's all kinds of things, you know, grab the stick this way, grab it that way. Let's work at a Haskell hard book. Let's work at a reading could be fun. Let's play a rock pattern, you know, whatever's going to Uncle Matt, okay. Thank you, Mike. Anyway, you know, it's like you're doing the right thing as a parent, and that's good, but you have to remember what kind of drum teacher you have. Somebody who's supplementing their income, who does not take this very seriously. And they're only going to teach you what they learned and how they learned. And they're going to make statements which are ridiculous sometimes. Now, I'm not belittling or bashing or disrespecting anyone. Like I said, 95% of the time. That's the case that you run into. If you're going to study drums, you go find yourself a professional teacher, okay, who knows how to teach, who's giving you some great information, and is a player. And he studied with the greats. And he's very much into it. This is his livelihood. This is his living. This is his profession. This is his art. That's the kind of instructor you want to find. Now, there comes an issue with price. Okay, so now, you say, all right, that's like going to Harvard or a community college. The price differential is great. I mean, you know, wow, I can't afford Harvard, so I want to send them to a, a community college. Well, that's fine. That's all you could afford. And that's just another issue. It's just the kind of education that you will receive. Double kicks. All right, anyway. Now, I did get a few emails this afternoon. That's why I'm acting the way I'm doing now, and I'm bringing this to your attention. You know, with the thing of YouTube, it's been in existence perhaps maybe 10, 11 years. Everybody wants to be a teacher. Everybody's way is the right way. Well, okay, fine. That's the way they do it. It works for them. It might not work for you. And, you know, there's so much information out there. I say out of 100% of the videos, that are professing information, I would have to say again, 95% of them are nonsense. The other 5% are on the money. Now, the reason, like I said, I got the email, a couple emails, and one thing I'd like to address, on the drumstick itself, the rebound, playing with a brush, playing on a pillow, air drumming, mental drumming. I want to talk a little bit first about these issues. Let's talk about, first of all, you might know who I'm talking about when it comes to this. There's a gentleman who's very visible in the drum community and has a great following because he's a very great speaker. And I really respect that. But when it comes to playing, he should put the drumsticks down and just keep the mic in his hand. That's how I feel. That's my opinion. And when I express my opinion, I get the thing is, well, you have an attitude, or you're insecure. What do you want me to tell you? I'm just giving you my opinion. This is the USA, and I could say what I want to say. And me being a professional drum teacher, and I see something I dislike or don't agree with, I'm going to say something, period. Okay. And like I said, there's one particular person who's actually called my house in the same day 4 times. Okay, you go figure. What I mentioned on Facebook about him didn't bother, but yet he called my house 4 times. I'm trying to still figure that one out. And it's about the drumstick. There's teachers out there that, and I learned this a long time ago, that, when you're playing with say your right hand, for example, they develop a ball, a solid ball. It's like a golf ball. All right, a muscle. And what you're doing with that is you're gripping the stick too tight. And when you grip a stick too tight, what happens, a few things. When you hit the drum, and I'm going to grip it tight, and I'm going to keep the stick down. What I did was I choked the sound. I created tension in my arm. Now, the sound should be going outward as opposed to coming into your body. When I go like this, that impact, impact that I just did comes up my arm. And this creates some problems. It creates carpal tunnel syndrome and tendonitis. And that's not really good. Now, I have to admit, my left hand, and because of my age, I'm starting to feel a little arthritis, but that comes with old age. That has nothing to do with drumming. Okay? Now, one of the issues, or one of the things I like to address, is playing on a pillow. Well, fine. I mean, when I was a kid, I played on pillows, I played on desks. In school, I play on my desk all day with my hand. All right? And I went to a Catholic school, and the nun would run down the aisle and just, boom, give me a shot. Stop. Even my parents had to go to school. My father had to bring my drumsticks to school and give up the drums for a week or 2. It didn't work. Anyway, you have drummers out there talking about grabbing the stick, no pain, no gain. This is not a sport. This is an art. And when you're playing, especially this instrument, the laws of physics come into view. Who's this? Jose. I can't pronounce your name, Jose. Hola. And who's this, James? 75 to 120 at a half hour per lesson booked. Anyway, what happens now, let me get back to that. I don't want to get distracted. I'm not going to read any questions right now. This is like ridiculous. You don't squeeze a stick. You don't throw a stick down like this, open your hand and catch it. And yet that's what's going around. And that's why it upsets me. I try to help and explain why that's not good for you. On a pillow. We're playing on a pillow. There's no I don't have my pillow. I should have brought a pillow. But when you're playing on a pillow, there's no rebound. And you're actually working the wrong muscles to develop. Sure, you might be able, it's like if you were, say, jogging and you put ankle weights on and you jog for 5 miles, of course, even if you walk 5 miles with ankle bracelets on, of course, what would happen is after you remove them, you feel lighter. Metal sticks, for example. I always get in trouble all the time. Okay? And it's about, I go to these drum shows and I see these vendors, which, I don't disrespect that. That's a nice thing. They're selling a product. But when somebody tells me they're selling metal sticks, I say, why are you doing that for? That's going to hurt a drummer. That's going to hurt somebody's hands. Oh, no, it's not. And right away, because I said that, they dislike me because now I'm interfering with them selling their product. Or I'm not agreeing with the product. So therefore, I have an attitude. Or insecure. Unbelievable. Anyway, you have drum teachers doing all kinds of things, all kinds of gimmicks, all kinds of things. Wear gloves when you play so you don't, the sticks don't slip out of your hands. That's ridiculous. I wear gloves when it's cold outside, not when I'm playing. I want to feel that stick. I'm not banging the drum, I'm playing the drum. The next issue is drumsticks with grooves in them. So your sweat goes into the grooves and don't make the stick slippery. That, is a bit much, man. Anyway, brushes. Brushes have a reason. Brushes are for different colors, a lighter playing on the drum. And first, before I go into my next episode of venting, I'd like to say I have these brushes here, and they're nylon, and they mean the world to me. And these brushes are over 50 years old. Can you see these? And what really, why they're precious to me is because Gene Krupa used these brushes. That's the night I played the gig with him and we exchanged 4s and 8s, but he used these brushes. And this is something I treasure. Now brushes have a reason. When I went to see Alan Herman record, how you doing, Paul? When I went to see Alan Herman record for the first time when he was doing his CD Out of the Box, I looked at him because, we spent a lot of time in the studio developing techniques, talking about technique, and I looked at him and said, what's this guy doing? And he was developing different colors and different sounds, and it was way out of the box, and I enjoyed it once I understood it. And that's what colors are. And colors are for brushes, for example. I want to get a lighter sound on a snare drum. They have their effects. Like a ding, 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 ding. So on and so forth. They have the effect. But for some drummer to tell a student to practice with brushes is better, or it's quiet so that your neighbors don't, drive you crazy, they call the cops on you, is healthy for your hands. It's not. No way in hell. They have a purpose. Ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong, dong. I'm developing sounds. I'm not being shallow. I'm using this to develop sounds. But I'm playing each stroke. There's no rebound with the... Anytime you make impact on something, there is some sort of rebound. If you practice on a stick, with the brushes, for example, if you're doing singles, let's do them in 16ths. I'm using my wrist a lot more than I'm using when I have sticks in my hands. So I'm not really exercising my wrist. I'm exerting my wrist. Okay? Now, if I use the stick, it's a different thing. This is what you play the drums with, a drumstick. This is for color. Ding dong ding da ba ding ba ba What's this, Ed? Well, I would, the thing is, it's up to you to use. If you want to use a metal stick, the first time I came across the metal stick was he's dead now, and he was sort of an icon, I guess, in New York City or the drum community, Sam Ulano. Now, God bless the guy. I mean, he was a nice guy. He meant so well, and he has had some good students. He produced some good students. But that's the first time he was selling. That's the first time I figured, well, I'm gonna buy them. I tried them. I hit the drum pad and they bent. What do you want me to tell you? They're no good for your hands. You're using muscles that you shouldn't use, and you're developing muscles which going to interfere with the drumstick. It's simple. You play the drum with a drumstick. Now, if you have a place where you're bothering, say, if you're married, your wife or your kids are trying to sleep, or your neighbors call the police because you're making too much noise on the drums, you know what? The hell with them. This is what you do in your house or your studio. You do it. You don't want to hurt nobody, but soundproof as best as you can. I happen to use a few different drum pads. I use this particular pad because I like the sound of it, and I could hear me play. Or I'll use the real feel. Or even have a drum pad with, it's actually silent, but it gives me the same. Well, I wouldn't use any aluminum or steel sticks. That's my opinion. You could, if it works for you, I'm just letting you know it's going to hurt you. If anybody, I really wish Alan Herman would come here tonight. He is brilliant with this stuff. I had him do a show a couple years back on the laws of physics and on a stroke. And he gets into detail. The man is a brilliant man. He's a scientist. He knows what's occurring, both with the sound of your stick, with the execution of your stick, velocity, speed, weight, and carpal tunnel syndrome and tendinitis. The guy is just a brilliant man. He's going to be doing a show. We're going to be having a long discussion about that. All right? But I just wanted to know, what I do, and it's a better method, in my opinion, of if you can't get to a drum set or a drum pad and you're annoying somebody, well, it's time to set the law down. If this is what you're going to do, you want to be considerate to a lot of people. But hey, let them be as considerate to you as you are to them. This is what you need to practice. Now, I'd rather practice on a drum set than a drum pad, but yeah, I teach on a drum pad, I practice on a drum pad, and I perform and play, all right, on a drum set. And that's basically what I wanted to cover somewhat. But anybody tells you to play with brushes because it's quieter and it's going to help your wrist more, it's not going to happen. Scientifically, no way. Medically and physically, no way. You're putting a strain on your drumming muscles. So I would actually, if somebody taught me that or told me that, I'd run away from him. I really would. And bottom line, at the end of this discussion, here's what I'm going to wrap it up with. You get what you pay for. I get students coming here, and I used to, a long time ago, have like a meat market, every half hour a student. Now I don't do that. I give them a lesson. It could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. Or if they didn't practice, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with them. Simple. That's how I teach, that's how I roll. Anyway, I want to get into the lesson. Does anybody agree, disagree? Wait till I get my drumming gloves on, guys. Unbelievable. All right, I want to do a little review of this afternoon for those who missed it. What I did, I don't want to talk about Joe Morello right now. I'm just going to I'll talk about his book, Master Studies 2. Now, this is in Master Studies 2, and like, what is this, Jim? Well, I will. You know, this is a platform where I'm brushes are brushes, you know, and I will have a couple lessons on brushes by themselves, okay? Anything, huh? What is that? Didn't Alan Dawson advocate brushes for the rudimental ritual, excuse me. Yeah, well, that's for a different effect and different sound. You know, it's not that he's promoting that. He's playing what the rudiments with the brushes, okay, as opposed to with the drumsticks. There's nothing wrong with that. But to make a practice routine with brushes on a constant basis is going to hurt you. It's not the same. There's the rebound, here's the brush. Now, the only reason why there was a rebound is because I followed it back. I made my hand bring that back. That's an extra motion. But we'll get into that in a little bit more in depth. Well, who is this now? Brush. Wait a minute. Yeah, well, there's I forgot his name. Cameron, is it? He has some fantastic brush work. And brushes are for special effects. You know, let me just demonstrate, okay? Out of I see I'm going to left field with my lesson tonight in my review, but that's okay. You know, I'm going to keep this as my stick bag for tonight, but I forgot to bring out the weed whackers, or I call them whackers. It's a different sound. If I take the same thing with mallets. Hold on. I'm playing with mallets. Different. I'm playing the same thing. I don't practice with mallets unless I'm doing something on timpani. All right, brushes. Let me use these wire brushes. And I'm not prepared for brushes on the snare drum, but stir the soup. You know, I don't really want to get into that tonight. But, you know, what I'm trying to tell you is if I have one stick, a mallet, and the other stick, a regular drumstick, as opposed to two drumsticks, same drums, different sound for different effects. That's all it's from. And, you know, like I said, even the the stick with grooves in it is a joke. And there's also somebody out there, and there's a gimmick, you know, trying to make money. Listen, everybody's trying to survive and trying to make money. I'm doing this for free because I love to do this. Yes, I do ask for some donations because that keeps me alive. I'm not demanding it. There's another gentleman out there who, oh man, he drives me crazy. With the hinge stick. I don't agree with it, but fine, that's okay. I have that right not to agree with it. There's other people who say, yeah, this is cool. Well, that's okay, but I don't agree with it. I think that somebody who's first learning how to play the drums should learn and find their pivot point, their way of holding the drumsticks, and you as a teacher should correct it as you go along. Not that there's a pin here, and this is where you grab the stick. If that's the case, everybody's hand would be the same. That's my point. And I'm not saying it has only bad points. It might have some good points. I just look at something like that and I have to laugh. It's about somebody who's trying to make an additional dollar. That's all. All right, enough of me, all this nonsense, or not nonsense, but going off on it. Anyway, this afternoon, what we were working on was a formula, a stick control formula. And it's actually, there's a page in Master Studies 2 that has this. And I told everybody this afternoon, like when I went to Joe, and we would have every week or whenever it was taking a lesson, was our different ways of doing the stick control book. And I've come up with quite a few. And so did Joe. And he said, hey, that's cool, man. And then it opened up a tremendous amount of doors for me. So I refer to this as, and he put it in his book. I gave him this one, but he put it in his book, which is all right. I feel good, but somebody else is taking the credit for it. It's okay. What is that? All right, well, it's just something I do. Well, they're not brushes, Jim. These are called hot rods or whackers or whatever. But all they are is bamboo. It's not a brush, and it's for effects. That's all. And it's when Alan Herman, he just do things with chains on a cymbal. He come out from someplace and a crescendo to decrescendo. The guy was amazing. Anyway, let me go to the lesson before the time runs out. And what I want to do, I made this a formula. I'm taking it from, I'm giving Joe the credit for that page. And I'm saying, okay, that made me go to the stick control book and say, all right, let me smack George Lawrence Stone for his brilliance in his order of sticking. Right, left, left, right, so on and so forth. Right, left. And what I did is I said, okay, R is going to become a right-hand paradiddle. Now, a lot of people disagree with that terminology. Right, left, right, left, right. Over and over again, I like to address that as a right-hand paradiddle. If I go left, right, left, right, left, that is a left-hand paradiddle. If I go right, left, left, that's an alternating paradiddle. What's this? Okay? Anyway, here's what we're going to do. The first thing you want to do is kind of review or revisit the levels on a regular an alternating paradiddle with the accent on the first stroke of the paradiddle. Down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. And again, I'm looking like I'm a robot, but it's an instructional platform. I'm showing you what's occurring. If I'm playing paradiddles, I'm playing down, up, tap, tap, down, up. Now you notice why I come up, and like Ed agreed with me before this afternoon, that's to get in position for your up and coming accent. And actually, that upstroke is the speed stroke. A friend of mine, Mike McAlco, I met him at NAMM. He's a nice guy. He's a really good drummer. And he has a video on YouTube, how to make your paradiddle faster. And he's come up with a unique way, which is nice. Anyway, if I looked at line 1, and I saw right, left, left. Right is now going to become right, nice and slow. Left is going to be left, then right. And what amounts to line 1 is an alternating paradiddle. 2, 3, 4. So what I'm thinking about, once I get it flowing, what I'm thinking about is a 16th note formation. The first R would be 1 enda, the L would be 2 enda, the next R would be 3 enda, 4 enda would be the left. So I'm going to do that 4 times, or just keep doing the first line. It's just an alternating paradiddle. Where this concept or this formula really takes effect, it starts on line 3. You have 2 right-hand paradiddles, right, left, right, 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 left, right, right in the lefts, left, right, left, 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 right, left, left. Okay, so now, how do we do this? Well, you know, you're not going to force it. You want to develop a form. Yeah, Mike is a really nice guy, man. In person, he's better. Anyway, we have, now let's do the right, right, left, left sequence. I'm going to do this slow, and as I begin the paradiddle, I'm going to say this is a right, this is a right, this is a left, this is a left. Then I'm going to break it down with the levels. Okay, so we have right, right, left, left. Now what I just did was 2 right-hand paradiddles, 2 left-hand paradiddles. Now let's break it down to what is actually occurring with the levels inside of that to get in position to attack the accent correctly, without any stress, without any strain, flow, the laws of physics. You're actually not preventing the stick from doing what you want it to do or it's supposed to do. So you have down, tap, tap, up. That takes care of right, left, right, right. But look at me, I'm in this position. Why am I in this position? Because now I'm in position to nail the accent. Down, now I'm going to come up. Tap, tap. Why did I come up? It's because I'm going to nail the accent now. That's 3, E, 3, E, and the 4, E, and. So you want to play them. So on and so forth. Do we understand this? Paul, you still here? Yes? No? Now, you know, you go through the whole page like that, and like I said, I'm working on putting this into the workbook number 2. Paul, please come forward here, man, say hello. Now, one other thing I did, or like to do, is, and you know, this can go on and on and on. Like, you know, you could do the whole page, the whole 3 pages if you'd like, and the object is to do it slow. Get yourself in form. And as you consistently do it and do it and do it, it just starts to flow. Now, you know, you say, what's the sense of that? But actually, just say you did 2 right-hand paradiddles, 2 left-hand paradiddles over and over and over again. Okay? Over and over again, it's going to make the alternating paradiddle a lot faster. But we're not trying to develop speed, we're trying to develop form and control. And like I continually say, without control, speed will not exist. Now, you can have a little fun with this. You're developing your hands. Now, let's develop a little coordination with these exercises. And let's start with line 1, all right, the alternating paradiddle. Now, instead of me using my right hand, I'm going to use my bass drum in its place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that leaves my right hand and my left foot free. I would highly recommend right now, with the exercise, just put the right hand in. Now, what are we going to do with the right hand? Well, anything you really want, but let's get a sense of organization and say, okay, we're going to play the right hand on the ride cymbal. We could play the bell, We can play just the ride cymbal itself. Or it depends on how you want to do it. On the counts of 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we do line 1. Nice and slow. 3. No accents. It's an exercise. Now we go to line 3. Excuse me. Are you enjoying this? You learning anything? If not, man, I'll go to some reading, okay? What is this? All right, now we go to line 3. 2 rights, 2 lefts. Now it's going to be a little bit of work with that bass drum. We have... so on and so forth. You could do all 3 pages like that with that ride cymbal on 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can revert to the workbook with all the different ostinato patterns, leaving the 2 and 4. Just a cymbal pattern, okay? Or you can go to actually Gary Shafee's time functions and take all of those patterns and play them with the ride cymbal against each line between the bass drum and snare drum. Does that help, gentlemen? Now, I really, really appreciate, and it's helping me help you, okay, is the email. You guys email me. Wow, that makes me feel good. That means I have your passion steaming, and you know, your thirst for knowledge is happening, and you want to be correct, or you want me to re-explain or address it here on the chat. For those who don't have my email and would like to get on my mailing list, I'm going to put my email here, okay? Email me, I'll put you on my mailing list, and by doing that, you will get an email. Let me see what I got there. That's it. With the week's agenda and some PDFs maybe. But I'm trying to cut down on the PDFs. All right, because it's a lot of work and I had to send them to 100 people. And I don't even get a thank you sometimes. Now, who was that before they came in? It was his first time here, I believe. I'm sorry, I apologize. This computer drives me crazy. But it's okay. That was, who was that? Jose. Jose, are you there? Hey, come on. Hello, Jose. Jose, all you have to do, or whoever wants to, because there's quite a few people in here tonight, but not that many are in the chat. Just email me, and you'll find out the location and the time of the stream. And if it gets involved other than the workbook, you'll have PDFs. Okay, just email me. You see my email up there? Email me. I'll put you on my mailing list, and I'll send you the week's agenda. And if need be, some PDFs. Okay? Now, like I said before, this is a free stream. I do it because I love it. And yeah, I want to get a little bit of notoriety, I have to be honest. But that's okay. But what I feel I'm putting down or laying down is the truth. And the people want to hear the truth, but they can't accept the truth. Okay? That's okay. That's their problem. They need to go see a shrink. This is how I feel, what I do, and what I teach. And I've been teaching all my life, and I've been very successful. Okay? Questions. Gentlemen, ladies, if there are questions, please step up. Or email me a question, and I will address the next stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. Now, the stream is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Okay? And, I took your advice, Jim, on workbook number 2. I don't think I'm just going to say this is stick control formulas. Book 3 is going to be linear concepts. Book 4 is going to be reading. I'm going to put it all into one book. And I don't want to write too many things because it takes a long time. I'm trying to get a high-speed printer. Woof. I don't know. Well, Jose and Jim and whoever, I'm a beginner as well. Because every day of your life, you begin a new journey. You are where you're at. This is a quarter note. Okay, this is an eighth note. So you're learning and you're going up the ladder of knowledge. We're all created here equal. We're all created equal, and we are all on the same journey. Sure, I've been playing 1,000 years, somebody else has been playing 20 years, and I'm in a different place than the guy who's been playing 20 years, usually. And, hey, we're all here to learn, to grow, and to share. It's as simple as that. And make the drumming language universal. No more gloves, no more groove sticks, no more hinges in the stick. All that good stuff. And I will punch back verbally, when I see something I just cannot agree with. And that's my opinion. Okay? Thank you guys for the compliment. That's not necessary. I know what I do. You guys hopefully are in a good place and you keep growing. And I feel good about being part of your growth. Okay? So, with all that being said, I need a few questions. If not, you feel, man, you can't be shy. Speak out, because now by you asking a question, it's going to help everybody else. And if you don't want to put questions in the chat, send them to me email, and I will be happy to address at the next lesson. And I will be incognito, okay, with the person who sent me the email. Well, you guys live in Mass. I guess you guys have a Home Depot and a Lowe's and a hardware store. And when it's cold out, or Macy's or Kohl's or whatever it is, when it's cold out, buy a pair of gloves. Put them on. It keeps your hands warm. When I play drums, I want to feel that drumstick. I don't have any calluses, any blisters. Just that one thing with my left hand. It was a physical thing that happened to me a while back when I was a child. What is that? I don't understand the question there, Mike. May I please ask if Joe Morello had a name for double stroke rolls? Played right, left, accent on the uppercase. Oh, okay. No, all right. Let me address that. That's a good one. All right, let me do this on the drum pad. And there's no name for that. Sorry about that, guys. There's no name for that. When I was first, I was always wanting to roll. I hung out in a few drum corps. I was real young, and the drum line, because I was young, they would try to help me out. And I always wanted to roll. These guys would, I said, man, I want to learn how to do that. Okay, so I sit there for hours and pound the drum, right, left, right, left, so on and so forth. And I sometimes, that was too many rights. Oh, that was too many lefts. So I just relaxed and played it. So I take a formation and I'm going to play it in 16th notes. Or I can play it in 8th notes, but I'll play it in 16ths. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now that's the norm of developing doubles. Now, if you notice, I'm playing on the count of 1 E and the. No matter how you play doubles, there's a slight accent. So slight you really can't tell, but there is on the first stroke of each double. And I'm starting on the downbeat. 1 E and the. Okay, so now, if you're going to start 1 E and, I'm pushing the E. Or if you're going to play doubles, 1 and 2 and 3 and like that. Is that what you're talking about, Michael? So, I like to start the doubles like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. I didn't start 1 E and I went 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so on and so forth. We'll do a whole lesson. We'll do that tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. You going to be around 1 p.m.? There's a slight accent. Anytime you do doubles, there's such a slight accent that it's really not noticeable, but it's there. So we will do it tomorrow at 1 o'clock, okay? Is that better? When I could devote maybe most of the lesson to developing doubles. Would that be okay with you guys? Anyway, I'm just about to sign off. All right? And again, email me with questions, and I will address them. Did I freeze? Huh. All right, Charlie asked me, do I like the off-world? I'm not familiar with that, Ed. I will look that up, though, okay? Accents and rebounds, I really never spent a whole lot of time. I started to until Master Studies came out, and I put accents and rebounds on the side and went through Master Studies 1 and Master Studies 2. Whose forte is accents and rebounds is Alan Herman. When he does a show here, we're going to address all the issues, compile these questions, put them aside sometime, and if you're going to view the lesson with Alan, ask him these questions, okay? Anyway, the off-world percussion. All right. Number one, if you go to their website, I haven't been on their website in years, but they have a photo of me or whatever, I guess. I don't know. But I have the off-world percussion, the Invader, and I'm going to play it with this stick. And it's a little, sounds like I'm hitting wood. Now, I used that's the Invader. This is the Highlander. And underneath, I have put cushions under it to elevate it somewhat, okay? So, that's to produce the sound going out. Now, I like the pads. I really do, because I could hear them. The real feel pad I used to use, and I have another pad called, I forgot what the heck the name it was, and I'll address it. I can't do it now because I can't get off the stool because of my microphone. But it's like a drum. It has a drum head, and you tune it. And years ago, what it was Ludwig used to put that out, okay? And it was a good drum pad. It really was. What the heck is the name of the pad? I'm trying to think of it. But anyway, I really, really like Off-World's product. Okay, not because I get them for free, but it's because it's a good product. I will not endorse something I don't agree with. I don't care if they offer me $1 million. Well, maybe I would. Hit and run. I'd take the million and run. I'm just kidding, guys. That's the way I roll, man. I cannot endorse something I disagree with. I don't care who you are, what you are, and how you play. You know, I don't know if you guys know who Roy Haynes is. Do we know Roy Haynes, gentlemen? I did freeze. Huh. Oh boy. You could ask if Joe Morello had a what? Hold on. I got to get a mouse pad for this. What was the question here? I forgot. Did Joe Morello have what? That's the accents and rebounds, Ed. I will. Believe me, you don't know what I'm overwhelmed with here. I wish I was overwhelmed with dollar bills, but that's okay. And listen, guys, if you feel in your heart, you know, you want to throw a donation, fine. Why don't you guys just do yourself a favor and me a big favor? Just go to my website. Sign up. It's $20 a month, reoccurring. You could always get out of it. So instead of me asking, all you need to do is sign up. I don't remember if he used that or not, but anyway, the guy's in his 90s. And ever since I've gotten into him, man, the guy just plays his ass off. He does. He's just such a phenomenal, great musician. You know, he's older and he holds the sticks a little bit different. I guess it's for arthritis. I don't know. But man, he plays music, and if you just listen to him instead of watch him and what he's doing to the music, he was like Art Blakey and Elvin Jones. Art Blakey, everybody wanted to play with Art Blakey because Art Blakey knew the music. He was always correct with the form. Elvin Jones, the first time I ever seen him was at the Bottom Line in New York City. And this guy was a giant, man, and he was a big man. I looked at him, and then I was just getting into hand technique from Joe. And I said, this guy, he don't know what he's doing with the sticks. And I just turned around, ordered a drink from the bartender, and I listened to him. I said, holy shit, this guy's playing. And he was. No word about it, Mike. Okay, so if you want me to put my website in here, if you feel generous, you can sign up. Okay? Because I'm going to open it up sometime next year. Reopen it. Just go there, sign up. Okay, guys. It was a good lesson tonight. Thank you for your information. Thank you for your emails and all the questions. You see what I'm talking about? Your questions help me help you. So we'll see everybody who wants to come 1 p.m. tomorrow, this location. Okay, guys. Any questions one more time before I leave? I hate to leave, but it's just about an hour, a little less than an hour. Okay. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Have a good night. You're welcome, everybody.